Hello and welcome to our presentation of the project and publication, The Scream of the Strawbear. I'm Janine Sack and I'm very happy to speak with Matthew Cowan about his project. Matthew, would you care to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, thanks, Janine. My name is Matthew Cowan. I'm an artist and I'm based in Berlin. I'm originally from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I'm working in the field of European traditional customs. And my practice kind of overlaps between the historical museum context and contemporary art context. So I'm working kind of between these two places. And yeah, I'm completing my doctorate in artistic research at the Academy of Fine Arts in Uni Arts Helsinki. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Thanks, Janine.
Thank you. I'll just briefly share the screen so we can have a brief look at the eclectic website. So what we see here is the website with a couple of publications which are mainly digital. Eclectic is a publishing project I've been running for over 5 years now, and it is focusing on presentations of and within the visual field, very much artistic presentations, artistic different variations of artistic narrative practices, and also of artistic research. I'm very happy in this case that we can look at a publication which has been produced as an ebook and only as an ebook, and which is playing and working with the possibilities of digital publishing. I would like to hand over to Matthew now to give us a little bit more insight into the background of the project and how it unfolded, how the work on it came about, and how it became in the shape of the ebook. I'm going to share the publication so you can see it while Matthew talks about it.
Okay. Thanks, Janine. Yeah, so The Scream of the Strawbear was a project that took place at Kunsthalle Giessen in cooperation with the Oberhessisches Museum. And the exhibition in both of those places took place in 2019. But the project itself as a whole had three distinct kind of phases. Before the exhibition, there was quite a long period of research and collaboration in preparation for the exhibition. And then after the exhibition was over, there was also a long period of kind of reflection and gathering together all of the knowledge and understanding that has come out of this project. And the ebook is a great kind of collection of this kind of material that we produced over the course of the project. So as I said, it started with an invitation from Kunsthalle Giessen with the director Nadia Ismail. And during this time and before the exhibition and over the course of 2018 and early 2019, I did a lot of research in preparation for the show. So as an artist, I'm really interested in traditional folk rituals. And in the countryside around the city of Gießen, I found that there's a lot of amazing traditional rituals involving wild man figures, such as the Strawbear, like we see here, and also the May Man, which take place in the villages around the city of Gießen. And I was really lucky to be able to collaborate with the groups of people in the communities who produce these traditional rituals, and to be able to attend and document and include them in the exhibition that I made. So the Strawbear itself, this ritual took place in the village of Königsberg, which is not far from Gießen. And it's a ritual which is kind of produced by the community. So as I came to be producing the exhibition and researching for it, I was working with quite a few different institutions and communities. And one of them was the Botanic Gardens in Giessen. And I worked with Professor Wissermann at the Botanic Gardens to produce a unique herbarium collection. And this was shown in the exhibition, and people could open these boxes and look at herbarium samples. And these all related to the kind of traditions that were elsewhere reflected in the project. Yeah, in the project at the beginning, I was reflecting on myself as kind of both an observer and a researcher, and I got a chance to attend many of these traditional rituals, which happened over the course of the year when I was researching. So I'm especially interested in the performativity of folklore. And over the course of working with the Strawbear tradition, when I was reviewing the footage that I'd shot, I saw this picture of Torsten Scherer, who was the man who was performing as the Strawbear in early 2019. And he was wearing a kind of stocking mask that was underneath the straw to protect his face. And I was totally fascinated by this mask, and this became a kind of visual aesthetic motif in the exhibition. So I had this practice of working between the museum and the art context. And in this project, I was really able to make an exchange between the museum and the Kunsthalle. So here we see the cabinet where there was a collection of old military reservist tobacco pipes originally held in the museum. And I took those pipes and had them in my exhibition in the museum and replaced them with some new work that I had made.
So you were collaborating with two institutions. That was one, the Kunsthalle Gießen, and the other one was the museum.
The Oberhessisches Museum.
Oberhessisches Museum, which contained this collection of local artifacts.
Yeah, especially relating to tobacco, because tobacco is a big historical industry in Gießen itself. Yeah.
I see. So we were saying that you actually took some artifacts from the Oberhessisches Museum into the Kunsthalle Gießen. Is that right?
Yeah, they physically moved. Yep.
Okay. So, and this is what we can see here on the page. Here, let me see. I think we got it here, right?
Yeah, that's right. And in my exhibition, I actually left these hydraulic lifters on the wall where these pipes are shown, just to give a hint that these kind of are these have been moved into the art context. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that I really like to play around with, the different ways that we might understand a historical object when it's in an art context, and also the opposite is true when we have a new artwork which is produced to be seen in a museum. The way that the difference of how we might look at an artwork in a museum as opposed to how we might look at it in an art context. Yeah.
Which we also see in this exhibition as you're kind of connecting artifacts which existed with also new costumes which were inspired by the different folklores you were witnessing. So you are actually also kind of in your own manner responding artistically to what you've been seeing in these different folkloristic traditions and rituals, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think I'm working as an artist, so my mode of working is to produce artworks, and I especially like to make costumes and other kinds of artifacts, which can also be performed in. And in a way, these are my reflection and my way of kind of documenting and producing an understanding of the things that I am observing and documenting and looking at and interested in these kinds of artistic contexts. So yeah, I guess it's my mode of reflecting and understanding tradition and ritual and the ways communities make these rituals.
May I just show you?
Yeah.
This was what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
This examples of your folkloristic.
Yeah. These guys, yeah, these guys, I think I like to think of these as self-portraits. So if you can imagine me wearing these costumes, like unwearable costumes, then maybe you get a sense of one way that I was feeling when I was producing this exhibition, that in a sense, these wild man ritual figures like the Strawbear and the Mayman, they're like everyman figures, but they're also like they're unique as well. So in a way, I wanted to insert myself as an artist, but also observing. So I made costumes out of the materials that I have at hand as an artist. So sound recording devices or cameras themselves, in a way to reflect this kind of figures that are hidden behind materiality. Yeah. So this Strawbear that we see here is from Königsberg, and the Traditions Verein Königsberg were very gracious to let me work with them and take photos and some video footage of their ritual in early 2019. And yeah, the Strawbear happens in around this time of the year, in late January, I think, and processes around the village, dressed as a Strawbear. And maybe we can show a little bit of the video, Janine. The most striking thing about this tradition is that the Strawbear has a kind of scream, and this was something that really struck me when I attended. This, maybe we hear it.
Yeah, it was there. Maybe have another. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Yeah, this kind of screaming. I mean, in a way, it's a kind of horror. Especially the children love to be scared by this figure. But in another way, it's a kind of ritual performance. But also, it's a I came to understand through talking with Professor Becker at the University of Marburg, which is nearby to Giessen, at the ethnography department, that this is ethnographers would kind of classify this tradition as a kind of non-specific protest. But as an artist and as just a person attending this kind of ritual, it's very visceral, this screaming, and it really got to me on a kind of a deep level. And so to try and understand what the screaming meant, I kind of approached it as an artist. And I guess I was really interested in the kind of, there's no language to the scream. It's just a very human person who's making this sound. And yeah, so I wanted to understand what it means. What is the meaning of this kind of sound when traditions like this are still happening in 2019 or 2024, when the meaning that might have originally been generated by this kind of ritual is not the same as it was when the tradition started. I took this kind of understanding of what is happening, and I also reflected this in another video, which is called "The Sound of the Cultural Office," and this is a kind of asking staff from the culture office in the city of Giessen to also perform a scream, not in the same way as a Strawbear might, but a simple scream which also has no language and no context, but as an interpretation of the exhibition as a whole. So these people are all working in the city of Gießen in the cultural sphere, and these kind of sounds, I guess, are kind of one way of interpreting all of the rest of the material in the exhibition. And this was presented in the Oberhessisches Museum itself, in the tower. Equally, these sounds are also visceral and quite something to kind of be involved with the performance of, and also to watch the video. So, but yeah, overall, working with these great people who produce these traditions, I was really interested in how people understand what's happening in their villages when these happen. And many people told me that these kind of marker points, when something like the Strawbear or the Mayman happens, is about the bringing of good luck or the changing of seasons. And yeah, I also recognize that the positive effects of bringing a community together. And I also see that there's a kind of place making which happens through these kinds of rituals when people are all brought together in one place, and they kind of celebrate the place where they are and where they're living, and the changing of seasons, and also a connection or solidarity with all of the people in the past who have made these traditions happen in that place as well. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of reflect on a couple of things. In my practice, I really think about a lot about the idea of the carnivalesque, but not in the sense of big kind of carnival actually happening, but what happens after the carnival. So in one way, you could kind of read these costumes and artworks and artifacts which are placed together in the sense of what has happened after the carnival. So these things which are left out, they're like reminders that something has happened, or that even might have been happening. Finally, I guess I'd like to say that another way that I reflect on these objects is that they are post-performance objects, that they have this idea that they have been performed with. They're not historical objects yet. They're placed in an art context, not in a historical museum. So yeah, I'm happy to kind of share these images. And I also, we haven't talked much about the texts which are in the ebook, but there's some fantastic texts which are also reflecting on the project by Nadia Ismail, the director of Kunsthalle Gießen, Tessa Laird, who I had a great conversation with during the time that I was making the exhibition, and also with Katarina Wyack-Jock, who's the director of the Oberhessisches Museum, who talks a little bit about this process of exchange that we have between the museum and the Kunsthalle.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I would, there's like two more kind of formal remarks or questions I would like to add is the way of usage of the images. So we have some full bleed images, we have some image galleries within the ebook, and it would be interesting to understand how did you choose the display of the images? When did you choose to make a series of images? When did you choose to kind of go full screen with the images? Were there a certain structure to that?
Yeah. So to produce the ebook, I worked with a great designer, Daniela Weirish, and we collaborated on how to arrange the images and the text and the material all together. In this project, there was a lot of artifacts and materials and objects, which I really wanted to be able to kind of at least share some of the materiality of these objects and artifacts that I was working with. And these, an ebook is able to have these image galleries where you can show details as well as the whole object itself. So Daniela and I were able to kind of take people on a tour through these objects and aesthetic materials. Yeah.
We also need to mention that this ebook exists in a German and in an English version.
Yeah.
So we have everything translated. It is it is a very amazing collection of these materials with the different texts you've mentioned, Matthew, and also an interview or a conversation between you and Tessa, which I think gives a very good introduction to the way you're working and all the different aspects which we just only managed to scratch upon just now. So it's very much worth dipping into it deeper. But also we can, you were gonna announce and show us something else we've got.
Yeah, so let me grab something.
And I'll just undress.
Okay, fantastic, yeah. Yeah, so on the occasion of publishing this ebook, we produced some images. So these are new limited edition t-shirts. So there's two colors. Janine is wearing one, and this is the other one. This is in white with, I'm not sure if you can see, kind of dark green.
If you get too close, it disappears. It's a dark green.
Yeah, dark green ink. And also there are some tote bags. This one, and whoop, this is like green screen.
Yeah.
There we go. We see it.
Yeah, just fades out.
Yeah.
So what you see, and so this is kind of a abstract version of the strawberry, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's an abstract version of the Strawbear. And these are like signed limited editions that we have. So there's not many of them, but I'm super happy to produce them as an edition at this time.
And you'll find the ebook and the edition also on the web page. So we will just show the page again. So we find it under eclectic.de.
And you can also get them at Kunsthalle Giessen and the Oberhessisches Museum, the editions. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the Kunsthalle Gießen here. This is where the project took place. And yes, so thank you so much, Matthew, for this introduction. And I think we will hopefully have some live events following up where we can not produce, but present the ebook again. And I'll hope you'll have a look, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Janine. Yeah, it was great to have a chance to talk about it.